So I'm back with another one of these. As I was looking into other things that can help, especially in solving equation, I noticed that once you get to certain part of solving equation, we just cannot avoid running into fraction. And without the knowledge of fraction, it's going to make it very, very difficult to proceed. So let's just bite the bullet. Let's just go in and just see what we can do and how we can fix this. When we are talking about fraction, most people will be really confused with basically these two operations over there. The operation would be the add or subtract. And even if you somehow have the idea, but it will normally end up with like, wrong answer. So we are trying to fix this right now. So if we are talking about fraction addition or subtraction, the most important thing you need to know is lowest common multiple. So LCM is basically the key for this. Without knowing that, your fraction add or subtract will be wrong. There are shortcuts for it. However, it depends on the number. I think sometimes it's easier to understand the LCM, and so we can proceed without multiplying something and it gets too big. And we are going to get into this scenario, and I'll show you. Both answers will be the same. So let's dive in. So lowest common multiple. Basically, it means if I'm giving you two numbers, so if I'm giving you two numbers like, I want to find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 9. So you basically will start with 6, you start with 9. You're going to write all the multiple of this. So 6 times 1 is 6, and then you have 12, you have 18, 24, and so on. 9, you have 9, you have 18, and then you have 27. I should do a little bit more just to show the point. For this, 24, 30, 36, 36. So, as the term implies, lowest means the smallest common multiple. So they have to be in common. So 6 and 9, they are not in common. 12 and 9 are not in common. So obviously 18, they're in common. And I can go through the list. I can say I can also have like 36 and 36 in common, right? So lowest common multiple basically means with these two lists of number, you should be able to pick the smallest one. So the lowest common multiple of 6 and 9 has to be 18. So lowest common multiple is going to be 18. And why is this useful as a calculation? Why is this useful for the fraction? For example, I'm just give you a very simple fraction calculation. We're just going to do like 1 over 6 plus 2 over 9. All right. I've seen a lot of crazy ways that this would be done from students. But the key about fraction multiplication is that the denominator, these two things down at the bottom, denominator, they have to be the same. They have to be the same before you can add or subtract. So 6 and 9, they are not the same. So you can't just simply like, oh, I'm going to add them, I'm going to subtract them. You have nowhere to go with this idea. So lowest common multiple, the LCM, is going to come into place because I basically can fix these two numbers and make it so that they are the same. So let me show you what I would do. We just did that LCM earlier. We said it's going to be 18. So what I want to do is, so my two fractions are still going to be there. I have 18. I have 18. So first of all, step 1, first step, what you want to do is find the LCM of 6 and 9. Okay, it's going to give you the answer. This answer is going to be your new denominator. Then second, you have to look at these individual numbers over here. I'm going to highlight. Let me get rid of this highlight because, oops, got rid of the 9 too. 1 second. So I want to pair up my denominator over here. So from 6 going up to 18 with multiplication. So 6 times what number get to 18? We know that it's going to be multiplied by 3. Multiplied by 3. So I know that it's going to multiply by 3 to get to my 16. So if I multiply by 3 down here, I'm also going to multiply by 3 up there. So 1 times 3, we get a nice 3 over here. So this part is fixed. So you have to start with the lowest common multiple. You have to find it. You have to fix your denominator. You have to somehow figure it out. How can you get this multiply to work? Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other denominator. Basically, we're over here. I'm going to use purple for this. Okay, this to that. I'm going to multiply by 2. So 9 times 2 is 18, and therefore I have to multiply 2 up top. 2 times 2 is going to be 4. So I have this. Now, then you can add or subtract your fraction. So not until they are exactly the same, you cannot do that. All right. So now I can have one big line over there. I have the 3 plus 4. Then the 3 plus 4 is going to be 7 over 18. So lowest common multiple is the key to all the fraction. And if you cannot find the lowest common multiple, then you run into problem like if you're just randomly adding them together, people will go like 15. This is wrong answer. I've seen people doing that because 6 plus 9 is 15, and that has to be 3, and then you will simplify that to 1/5. So that is wrong. You are not going to do that crazy thing again. You are going to look for the lowest common multiple and try to fix it. And actually, there's another way to do it. However, this way is not as easy, I would say. So assuming I'm going to give you the same question again, is 1 over 6, 2 over 9. When I was young, I actually had a problem with the lowest common multiple. I just couldn't understand it. It's very difficult. And the trick to do it is I multiply these two numbers. This 6 times 9. I'll just do that. $54. So that's what I would do. So 6 times 9, 54. That's what I would do. And then I'll fix this into, okay, it's going to be 54. It's going to be 54. And because I know I multiply these two numbers, so the top has to be multiplied by 9. That has to be multiplied by 6. It's always going to be that match. So you're going to get yourself a nice 9, you're going to get yourself a 12, and then you add them together, 54. 9 plus 12 is going to be 21, right? So you do get a result from this. However, this is not the most simplified version, so you still have to simplify it. You have to divide both things by 3, I suppose. If you divide by 3, you're going to get 7. If you're going to divide by 3, you're going to get 18. So 7 over 18, and I think that's the same result. That's what we had. 7 over 18, 7 over 18. So basically, this is a method that will work, but you will run into problem. Let's say some of the numbers are really big. Let's say one of the denominator is 2, the other one is like 5,000, and that multiplication will get into this, it's just not nice to work with. So normally lowest common multiple will make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so let's look into another one. And this time the second method actually worked a little bit better. So we're just going to do 1 over 2 minus 2 over 7. If I'm thinking about lowest common multiple, you can kind of see that this is an even number, this is 7. If you're going to list all of that out, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, and 14, all the lovely things. 7, 14, there you go, 14. So basically you multiply these two numbers. So it depends. If you're comfortable with the number, if you're comfortable with your add or subtract or multiplication, just pick a method that you like. This one, I know that is going to be multiplied. The top is going to be multiplied by 7 because I'm trying to get to a 14, isn't it? So I'm trying to get to 14. So both of them are the same number. So 2 times 7, so that force my 1 multiplied by a 7. That force my 2 multiplied by a 2. So after the multiplication, you're going to get that 7 over 14, and then you're going to get that 4 over 14. And now you can finally do your subtraction. 7 minus 4 is going to be 3 over 14. So all in all, LCM is basically the key for this. And of course, fraction on its own, it can get a little bit more tricky. I'm just going to put a question out of my head now. Let's say I have like mixed fraction, like let's make a 3, 4. Let's do just 2, 3, maybe just a 1. Okay, so let's say if you have something like this, you have a mixed fraction. My way to do it, I would always turn this into an improper fraction. So 4 times 1 is 4, then 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, you multiply these two numbers first, and then you add the top number. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So now you get back to one of your question. Like once you get to this step, you don't really care about the beginning. You are just going to find the lowest common multiple. So this is 4 times 3 is going to be 12. So from 4 going to 12, I have to multiply by 3. So 7 is going to multiply by 3. That is going to multiply by 4. 7 times 4 is going to be 28. 21, 12, 28, 12. And then now I can add that two numbers together, 49 over 12. In proper fraction, I really don't have too much problem with it. If it's 49 over 12, I'm actually okay with it. If you want to convert that, you can do that. Oh well, I still have 1 minute. Let's just do it. So 49 divided by 12. I should have 4 of this in there, which is 48. The remainder is going to be 1. So you should be able to convert that into your 4 and 1/12. So if you want to do that, do the mixed fraction, it's up to you. I'm not too picky about that. Keeping the improper fraction is normally the way to go because if you're solving equations, sometimes you will be able to, do a cancellation or do a division of that 12 somewhere. And we're going to dive into it when we are really solving equation. And it's about the 15 minutes mark. So that's all I have to say. Bye.